Vijay Balasubramanian is the CEO of Pindrop Security, a company that detects AI fraud. He says they've seen a 900% increase in AI scams in 2 years. Last year, the Justice Department accused North Korea of attempting to infiltrate more than 300 U.S. corporations with fake job applicants trying to extort the companies and gain access to private data.
Are these tools being used just for job scams?
No, we're seeing romance scams, we're seeing elder abuse, we're seeing account takeover, we're seeing hiring scams.
AI deepfakes are easy to make. In less than 10 minutes, his team made one of me.
Hey, Kelly, I am so humbled and honored.
First off, thank you, Vijay, for having me.
In another office, Pindrop Vice President Dee Russell posed as me applying for a job.
The ability to distinguish real humans from AI-generated ones is becoming critical.
All right, so I have a heck of a story for you guys. If you haven't been living under a rock for the past 5 years, you know that AI is poised to upend the global economy and pretty much everything that we know. It's predicted to take 50% of the jobs over the next 2 to 5 years or something, and ultimately change the labor landscape as we know it. One thing that I don't want to do is fearmonger. I don't want to make people frightened of AI. I know a few people in my personal life who are terrified of it, and at least one person who refuses to have anything to do with it. Whether you are frightened of it or not, the truth is it's coming, and it's going to change the world as everything. It's going to change everything. So I think the best route here is to do all that we can to understand it, because ultimately AI is just a tool. It's just a tool like any other that can be used for good or it can be used for evil, just like any tool, like a computer or firearms or a kitchen knife. It all depends on the person wielding the tool. But something we need to be aware of is the danger that it poses. And a story yesterday points out that danger perfectly, as Russian hackers have allegedly impersonated Marco Rubio's voice and left message. I haven't read this article yet, but we're going to read it together. They have impersonated his voice to either leave messages or speak with high-level officials, and the possibilities in such an effective hack are astronomical. One of the most powerful people in the nation and really the world being believably impersonated could cause unfathomable destruction. So anyways, I have this article for you guys I wanted to read, and let's see what's going on with this story. We have here Russian actor suspected of AI deepfakes impersonating U.S. State Secretary Marco Rubio. Russian threat actors are suspected of creating several AI deepfakes of U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and then using the AI-generated content to contact at least 5 foreign ministers and U.S. officials, the State Department warned on Tuesday. That is frightening. I don't want to be the fearmonger, but that's rather frightening for those who aren't aware. Now, what I would expect to happen is governments and businesses and corporations who are at risk of this type of a hack will implement companies that are experts at catching this kind of a hack, to catch on to the AI. Interesting story before we go any further. I actually know someone who has been taken by the AI already, a voice impersonator. They received a phone call from what they were told was one of their friends, who sounded like one of their friends and was asking for money. And because of the story that this person told, the person that I know sent them like a couple of $100. It wasn't a lot of money, but imagine how that could add up for someone who is taking advantage of such technology. So this person was out $100, and then when they spoke to the person requesting it later, they had no idea that there was any contact made for this money. So, you know, it's something that we all need to be aware of, and maybe if someone is calling you for information or for money or for whatever, you want to ask very personal questions that person only would know, that only that person would be aware of and could answer. That's the minimal defense shield that I could recommend. Secretary Rubio is the latest high-profile government official to get caught up in an AI deepfake impersonation scam, as first reported by the Washington Post on Tuesday. Apparently, an unknown bad actor had used several AI-generated deepfakes of Rubio to contact at least 3 foreign ministers, a U.S. governor, and a member of Congress sometime in mid-June, the Post said. The names of the officials have not been revealed, but an official cable from the State Department to all diplomatic offices said the imposter contacted some of the officials using the Signal messaging app. Signal is the same app that Trump's cabinet was lambasted for using to discuss attack plans on Houthi rebels in March, accidentally adding a prominent journalist to the private group chat. The new information follows an FBI advisory issued in May that warned of cyber criminals using AI-generated voice and text messages to impersonate U.S. senior officials, known as vishing or smishing, to target other former U.S. government officials. Two of the officials were left fake Rubio voicemail messages, and another was texted a direct invite to communicate with the imposter on Signal, the report said. The actor likely aimed to manipulate targeted individuals using AI-generated text and voice messages with the goal of gaining access to information or accounts, the July 3rd cable said. The fraudulent okay, so this was a few days ago, not yesterday. The fraudulent text and voice messages were also said to have mimicked Rubio's voice and writing style. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how well they can impersonate an individual. And the AI systems only need a small sample of the language patterns, the writing patterns, whatever, to create a believable impersonation. Steve Cobb, CISO at Security Scorecard, says this latest AI deepfake scheme is another reminder of how advanced deepfake technology has become. This is not the first time threat actors have impersonated state officials, and it likely won't be the last. These campaigns typically employ a multi-pronged approach, starting with phishing attacks sent from seemingly legitimate email accounts and escalating to AI-generated deepfake voicemails, Cobb said. Furthermore, if bad actors gain access to the personal or government accounts of U.S. officials, it can lead to further targeted attacks on other officials as well as the victim's contacts or associates, simply by using the information found in previous correspondence, the FBI said. In addition to the deepfakes of Rubio, his office reported that other State Department personnel had also been impersonated via email. I don't know if you've used any of the AI. I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to get familiar with it and to know how it works and to start using it in your daily life, because, again, it's coming and it's not going to stop. This isn't going to slow down, and it's certainly not going to go away. It's going to be part of our future experience from here out. No direct threat. The State Department noted that the AI fakes pose no direct cyber threat to the agency, although it warned that any information shared with a third party could be exposed if targeted individuals are compromised. The cable further referenced another deepfake attack thought to have been carried out by a Russia-linked hacker in April who conducted a phishing campaign targeting think tanks, Eastern European activists and dissidents, and former state officials, according to Reuters, which saw the warning. Cobb says that it's not entirely surprising these operations are suspected to be linked to Russian actors as Eastern Europe continues to be a hub for malicious cyber activity. Now, I know they're saying it's Russian actors, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But I grew up in the Cold War and saw the fall of the Berlin Wall and the fall of the Soviet Union, and literally for my entire life, Russia has been the bad guy. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that's the narrative that's been pushed on at least my generation through our whole lives, that Russia is the evil villain in every American story. The suspected hacker had used a fake state.gov email address and used the state's Bureau of Diplomatic Technology logos and branding on the phishing emails, the cable said. Adding that, the actor demonstrated extensive knowledge of the department's naming conventions and internal documentation. Wow. So is that, I don't know, is that information that they got from a mole, from an insider? I don't know. I would suspect so. The State Department said it would carry out a thorough investigation and continue to implement safeguards to prevent this from happening in the future. Ironically, this is not the first time Rubio has been targeted by cyber criminals using an AI-generated deepfake. Earlier this year, a video circulated of Rubio saying he wanted to cut Starlink internet service in Ukraine, the AP said. That video was eventually debunked by Ukrainian officials. U.S. Chief of Staff Susie Wiles was also impersonated by an AI voice cloning software in May. Stay vigilant. Cobb says to avoid falling victims to these schemes, staying vigilant is key. And this is not only at the corporate level or the governmental level, this is at the personal level. You are going to have to stay vigilant and ensure one way or another that the person you're talking to is the person that you think it is. The first and most important step has already been taken. These campaigns have been reported to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, which will serve as the primary source of verified information on incidents like this moving forward, this CISO said. Additionally, Cobb says to verify the authenticity of someone reaching out to engage or meet with you, people should look for some form of secondary authentication. That's what I was saying earlier. You want to make sure that they have information that only the person contacting you has information that only they would know, that maybe just the two of you share together. This could include calling a known trusted phone number, messaging the person through a verified social media account, or contacting someone who has a personal affiliation with the individual you're trying to verify, Cobb says. Another way is if someone calls you asking for money or for information or for whatever, you could put them off and say, I'll call you back, and then you pick up the phone and call that person back. I don't know if that's 100%, but that's something that I've used for years when it comes to email scams and other things. Oftentimes I'll get scammers sending me emails or text messages saying, you know, I owe this bill or that thing or whatever, and I need to click the link below to contact and if it's a company that I have an account with, I don't click the link. I don't have any conversation with the person in the text message. I simply close it out and call the company that was claimed in the message. Call them instead of letting them lead me down the path they want me to go. This could include calling. Oh, okay. We need to evolve toward a default mindset of healthy skepticism in these interactions and adopt a trust but verify approach as our standard practice, he added. So that's it, man. It's that's pretty frightening stuff, but certainly it would I would certainly hope that our government has fail safes for these kind of things rather than getting sucked in by a second-rate AI deepfake. But who knows? Who knows? We've seen some things lately that have been pretty unbelievable. You know, the one guy with the island, and now I won't get into that. But so, anyways, you guys stay vigilant out there. Don't get taken by the hackers, by the AI deepfakes. And I know you think, well, I'm just nobody. Nobody's going to be bothering me. But you receive scams in your email and in your text messages and phone calls all day, every day. And those are going to only become more and more believable. They're only going to get better as these evil people implement AI into their schemes and scams. So you guys stay safe out there. If you got anything out of this, leave me a like and consider subscribing. If you have thoughts on it, please let me know in the comments and let's have a conversation. Later.